Fresh off 9 holes at Two Eagles, Tony and I grabbed a drink at beautiful Mission Hill Winery before heading to Tower Ranch. And how's this for a backdrop for golf? And believe it or not, we're also closing in on 10,000 subscribers on the channel. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and you'll see more of these. And with that out of the way, let's hit this first tee at Tower Ranch. Whoever rated this course, I think, had a few too many drinks as well. It doesn't quite play this easy in my mind. But in any event, let's take our tee shot on one. It's massively downhill, and if you hit one into the middle of the fairway, you can hit it a long way. Yeah, we'll take that one on the first hole. With just a flip wedge in here, I pull it a bit and it lands about 20 feet left of the pin. But it gets a fortuitous kick and winds up about 8 feet above the hole. I saw a break in this putt that just wasn't there, but we'll take a par on one. Another massively downhill tee shot, and once again I put it in the fairway and get at least 50 or 60 yards of rollout. So I can actually go for it in two on this par 5. I take aim at the flagstick and ignore some water on the right. It comes up just short, and I hit a great chip here, and we're going to be under par through 2 today. On the third hole I do opt for driver, and in hindsight that brings a narrow fairway and some bunkers into play. I do find the bunker, but with about 80 yards I am able to feather this one up to the green. And this is a bad omen for the rest of the round. I just didn't hit this one hard enough to get over the ridge, and that's a lousy putt that will leave me another 10 feet for par. And that one was low the entire way, and we'll take our first bogey. Finally, we have a flatter tee shot, and I take dead aim at the bunkers in the middle of the fairway at about 280, knowing I probably won't get there. And indeed, I'm in position A here. This shot is playing about 20 yards uphill though, so I know my forward won't get there. But that's fine. This is just a simple little pitch into the green. And I have about 12 feet for birdie, and it rolls out a good 3 feet past the hole. And how's this for a lousy putt? That's a very disappointing 3-putt, and unfortunately not my last of the day either. There's wind blowing this hard right, but I nonetheless pull it a hair, and even the wind isn't going to save this one from winding up in a very tricky greenside bunker. I have a steep lip here, and I do get it through it, but not all the way onto the green. And this is a really bad putt through the rough. And once again we'll have way more than we want coming back for par. And even though that's technically not a 3-putt, it sure feels like my second in a row. This is stroke hole 1 on the card, and uphill into wind, suddenly we're hitting the ball 80 yards shorter than we were earlier. So we're approaching with a forward here, and it lands just short of the green in a position we're not too unhappy with. And here I'm playing a runner, but it does stop a good 8 or 9 feet short of the hole. And this one has more break than I thought, and now we're on a bogey train. This tee shot is playing straight into wind, and I'm actually aiming for the fat part of the green on the right, but we won't complain when we hit one on line. We have a makeable birdie putt here, but we underread it again. But we're okay with par after the last couple of holes. This was not my best drive uphill, but I do get a lucky kick back into the fairway. And this 7-iron looked like it was going to miss the green left, but lo and behold it winds up in a good spot. And this is a putt that was probably too aggressive and lucky to catch some lip. And we rolled in back-to-back pars. This is the turning point of the day, and not in a good way. This drive up the left finds this creek on the left, and I had to pull it out for an unplayable. And now my third shot finds a greenside bunker. This one rolls out above the hole in probably the worst place to be on the golf course. I just breathed on this putt, and watch it go. And at this point there is something between the ears, because here comes a terrible putt. Pulled a good 5 inches left of the hole. And a triple bogey is not the way we wanted to end the front. The flat stick gave us probably our worst performance ever on the channel, so despite hitting 6 out of 9 greens, we are not too thrilled with 7 over through 9. The golf gods giveth, the golf gods taketh away. This is a fade uphill into the wind, and it goes pretty much nowhere. And we're a little less than thrilled to be pulling a head cover for an approach on this short par 4. But we're happy enough that it winds up just a few feet off the green. And I have to play a lot of break on this chip, and it's a good result, but look where the confidence has gone with the flat stick. I'm starting to get frustrated here, and I don't finish this swing and pull it hard left into a bunker. I should probably wedge out sideways, but in frustration I try to get one over the lip, and I'm very lucky that it winds up in a greenside bunker. This is a really delicate one, and just like the last hole I roll it up to a few feet, and just like the last hole, my putting is nowhere to be found. That's the sound of a guy who is beginning to get quite frustrated, and I don't even catch on camera a flub chip before hitting this one onto the green. And we have about 12 feet to avoid our third double plus of the day, but the golf gods giveth. A bad swing on 13 means I'm going to have a whole long way in from a side hill lie. And I actually got great contact on this. And this chip over the ridge rolls towards the pin but goes a few feet low. And then I watch my playing partner Jerry whack one uphill here that still winds up short. So I'm committed to giving this one a good whack myself, but it's not quite meant to be. The finish on this swing isn't going to win any awards, but it is right on line from a very difficult to gauge number, and a birdie on the back here would really help erase some sins. But it's just not my day. This is a really quirky par 5, and it was probably to my benefit that I didn't know quite how quirky it was. A pretty mediocre drive means I'm going to lay up to an area with a 5 hybrid. And now with 60 in, I'm thinking just put it right of the pin and it should work out.
Oh!
And instead it kicks about 80 feet left off the green. Chipping back onto the green, I put it in a decent enough spot, but you now catch the theme today. The closing 3 holes at Tower are among my favorite. It starts with getting to hit a superhero drive here on 16. And this is certainly not my best of approach shots, missing the green from 130 yards. And yeah, when the confidence goes, you start hitting some very uncharacteristic shots. I did spend some time lining up this putt that broke a good 8 feet or so. And bogey's feeling like par at this point in the round. This par 5 is quite a bit more conventional than the last, and I start by hitting a great drive. And with about 290 in, I figure, let's try driver again. It's a total miss, but it puts me inside 100 yards, so who am I to complain? And this is my favorite pitch and putt number.
Oh, nice effort.
And it is a few feet short, but it's online and I'll have a decent look at birdie. And this is our second and final par on the back nine. 18 is a tester. You have to hit a big fade off the tee, and I put mine in about position A before getting introduced to Shank City. From about 60 yards here, I'm lucky to put any club on it, and it winds up in a greenside bunker. And we continue our trend of hitting them well out of the bunker, and finally make a putt. You'll see from the stats today that this is not a round to be proud of for me. And what's funny is, I often escape scores like this by putting like a scratch golfer. But today, have a look at this last stat line. 35 putts and 2 more off the green means that we'll have to take an 86 today.